The jungle was alive with strange sounds, glowing insects flickering like tiny stars in the thick darkness. Rain had fallen earlier, leaving the ground muddy and slippery, and the heavy leaves hung low, dripping water. Among the towering trees, a human soldier moved carefully, scanning the shadows. His name was Lieutenant Marcus Kane, a man known for his skill and courage in the most dangerous missions. But tonight he felt something more than the usual tension in the air. Tonight something felt different. He had come to this planet as part of a human peacekeeping force, sent to assist in the conflicts between alien factions. Most of the species here were unlike anything humans had ever encountered. Their biology, culture, and emotions were foreign, sometimes incomprehensible. But Marcus had learned early on that survival meant understanding the unknown and acting with both strength and empathy. As he stepped carefully over a fallen tree trunk, his eyes caught a faint movement near the ruins of what looked like an old alien city. The structures were shattered and overgrown, a reminder of a civilization that had once thrived but was now buried in war. From behind a half-collapsed wall he saw a figure, small, delicate, and trembling. The alien girl. She was barely taller than a human child, but her features were unmistakably alien. Pale lavender skin that shimmered under the faint moonlight, eyes that glowed like liquid silver, and hair that seemed almost like threads of starlight. She froze when she saw him, her body trembling. "Please, don't remove my clothes," she whispered. Her voice was soft, almost musical, but full of fear. Marcus froze. Her plea was not a threat, but an expression of fear. Fear of humans, fear of the unknown, fear of exposure. Marcus lowered his weapon slightly, raising his hands to show he meant no harm. "I'm not here to hurt you," he said gently. "I just need to help." She shook her head violently. "You don't understand. If you remove them, it will be wrong, my people. They will hate me. You will destroy me." He studied her for a moment. Her clothes were not ordinary garments. They were a kind of protective suit covering almost every inch of her body, designed to shield her from the toxins and radiation in the ruins. But beneath it she was injured. Her breathing was shallow and her movements were weak. Clearly she couldn't survive without help. Marcus's mind raced. His training told him what to do: provide medical attention immediately. But her plea echoed in his mind. She was frightened, and he understood that her fear was real. He had been in situations where the wrong action could cost someone their trust or worse, their life. He took a slow step closer. "I know you're afraid," he said softly, "but you're badly hurt. I can't save you unless I can treat your injuries. I promise I will be careful. I will not hurt you." The alien girl's eyes welled up with tears. "I don't want to be naked. It is shameful. My people will think badly of me. Please." Marcus swallowed. He had faced many difficult decisions in his life, but this one weighed heavily on him. To save her, he had to violate her trust, but he could do it gently, respectfully. If he hesitated too long, she might not survive the night. He knelt slowly on the damp ground, keeping his movements calm. "I will only do what is necessary," he said, his voice firm but kind. "I will cover you at all times. You will not be alone. I promise." The alien girl hesitated, looking into his eyes, searching for honesty. Finally, with a shuddering breath, she nodded slightly. Marcus felt a pang in his chest. He hated that he had to break her trust, but he had no other choice. Carefully, he began to loosen the outer layer of her protective suit, working slowly and deliberately to minimize discomfort. The alien girl flinched with each movement, but he spoke softly, reassuring her. "Almost done. Just a little longer," he said. When he finally had access to the injuries, he saw the extent of the damage: deep lacerations along her arms and torso, burns from exposure to toxic residue, and severe dehydration. Marcus's heart tightened. She was on the brink of death. He activated his portable medical kit, a compact device designed to scan, clean, and heal injuries rapidly. The alien girl gasped as tiny needles and sensors extended from the kit, carefully working on her wounds. Marcus stayed close, holding her hand gently, giving her a sense of security amidst the fear and pain. Minutes stretched into what felt like hours. The rain had stopped, but the jungle remained alive with sounds of distant predators and the soft hum of alien energy from the ruins. Marcus remained focused, monitoring the device and the girl's condition. Slowly, color returned to her face and her breathing became steadier. When the treatment was complete, Marcus carefully helped her back into her outer suit, now clean and functional. The alien girl's eyes, wide and silver, met his. She was still afraid, still uncertain, but alive. I don't know what to say, she whispered. You broke my trust, but you saved me. Marcus nodded, his own chest tight with emotion. I know, he said quietly. And I feel it too. I hate that I had to do it. But you are alive, and that is what matters. I will respect you from now on, I promise. The alien girl looked down, processing his words. Slowly she nodded. I will try to trust you, she said. Her voice was small but firm, a fragile bridge beginning to form between them. Suddenly, a rustling sound came from the trees. Marcus tensed immediately, scanning the area. He had expected dangers. This planet was hostile, and other factions would not hesitate to attack. But what he didn't expect was a group of alien scavengers drawn by the movement in the ruins. They found us, Marcus whispered, taking a defensive stance. The alien girl's eyes widened, fear returning. I can't fight, she said. You won't have to, Marcus replied. Stay behind me and do exactly as I say. The scavengers emerged from the shadows, tall, armored creatures with sharp claws and glowing red eyes. They had weapons designed to tear through both organic and synthetic materials. Marcus's pulse quickened. He knew he had to protect the girl at all costs. He activated his weapon, a plasma rifle adapted for alien combat. The scavengers hesitated for a moment, surprised by the human's sudden readiness. Marcus fired carefully, aiming to disable, not kill. His training emphasized precision and control. Each shot disabled the scavenger's armor or immobilized its movement, keeping them at bay. The alien girl watched in awe and fear. You are incredible, she whispered. Marcus didn't respond, focusing entirely on the threat. He moved strategically, using the terrain to his advantage, always keeping the girl protected behind him. After what felt like an eternity, the scavengers retreated, realizing they could not overcome the human's skill. Marcus lowered his weapon, breathing heavily. He turned to the alien girl, who looked shaken but unharmed. You saved me again, she said softly. Marcus nodded, exhaustion and guilt mixing in his chest. I promised I would, he said. And I meant it. But we are not safe yet. We need to move before more come. Together they navigated through the ruins, Marcus leading and the alien girl following cautiously. The trust between them was fragile but growing. Each step was a reminder that survival required cooperation, and that humans, despite their flaws, could be heroes in ways few other species understood. As they reached a small clearing, Marcus allowed himself a moment to look at the girl. She was quiet now, recovering from the shock of both injury and fear. He realized that the events of the night had affected him deeply. The act of removing her suit, though necessary, had weighed heavily on his conscience. He had acted out of duty and empathy, but the emotional cost was real. The alien girl noticed his expression. Are you broken? She asked quietly. Marcus shook his head, though a small, tired smile crossed his face. Not broken, he said. Changed. Sometimes doing the right thing is the hardest thing to do. She nodded slowly, beginning to understand. She might never fully comprehend human morality, but she could see it in action, bravery, compassion, and an unwavering sense of duty. Marcus had risked everything to save her, not for reward or recognition, but because it was the right thing to do. Night settled over the jungle, the stars reflected in the glowing rivers nearby. Marcus and the alien girl huddled near a small fire, keeping watch, knowing the dangers were far from over. But for the first time that night, there was a sense of hope. They were two strangers from different worlds, bound by circumstance and the need to survive. And though the night had tested them in ways neither would forget, it had also begun to forge a fragile bond, a bond built on trust, courage, and the extraordinary resilience of humanity. In the distance, a soft rustle reminded Marcus that danger was never far. But he was ready. He had a mission, and now he had someone to protect. And for the alien girl, she had someone who would stand by her, even when fear and uncertainty threatened to overwhelm her. The jungle was alive with unseen eyes and hidden predators, but Marcus Kane would not falter. He would face whatever came next. Because that was what humans did. They stood tall, even when the universe seemed determined to break them. And as the alien girl watched him, she realized that this human, this stranger from another world, was something extraordinary, someone worth trusting, someone worth following even into the unknown. The night was far from over, and the journey ahead would test them both. But for now, they had survived. And in a galaxy filled with chaos and war, survival was the first step toward something greater. Understanding, friendship, and the quiet, undeniable. The first light of dawn broke through the thick jungle canopy, casting long shadows across the ruins. The alien girl stirred, blinking against the faint glow. She felt stronger than the night before, though exhaustion still weighed heavily on her. Marcus sat nearby, sharpening his blade, his eyes scanning the surroundings for any sign of danger. Even after the attacks, he refused to relax. The jungle was alive and they were far from safe. "Do you always carry a blade?" the alien girl asked cautiously. Her voice was quieter now, tinged with curiosity instead of fear. Marcus glanced at her and gave a small smile. "I always carry tools for survival," he said. "A blade is part of that. You never know what you might face on a planet like this." She nodded, studying him. Something about the way he moved, calm yet ready, gave her a strange sense of security. She still remembered the fear she felt when he first removed her outer suit to treat her injuries. That memory had been painful, but now it felt distant, like a lesson she had survived and learned from. Marcus noticed her gaze. "I know you're still cautious," he said. "And that's good. Trust isn't given, it's earned." The alien girl hesitated, then spoke. I want to understand humans. Your courage, your care. It is strange, but it is admirable." Marcus nodded slowly. "We aren't perfect, but we try to do what is right, even when it's hard." Their quiet moment was interrupted by a sudden noise, a deep, resonating hum from the ruins nearby. Marcus's head snapped toward the sound, instincts kicking in. "Get down," he whispered. They crouched behind a collapsed wall as a convoy of alien machines rolled into view. These were not the scavengers from last night. These machines were sleek, heavily armed, and patrolling the area. Marcus recognized the insignia of a faction notorious for enslaving weaker species. "They're searching for survivors," Marcus whispered, his eyes narrowing. "We need to move now." The alien girl's eyes widened. "But where?" Marcus pointed toward a narrow tunnel partially hidden by vines. "Through there. It's tight, but it will keep us out of sight." They moved carefully, Marcus leading and the girl following closely. Every step required careful coordination to avoid alerting the machines. The tunnel twisted and turned, damp and slippery, but it offered some cover. At one point, the girl stumbled and Marcus caught her instantly. "You're stronger than you look," he said, helping her regain balance. She gave him a faint smile, a mixture of relief and trust beginning to form between them. After what felt like hours, they emerged in a small clearing on the other side of the ruins. The air was fresher here, with a faint breeze carrying the scent of alien flowers. Marcus allowed himself a moment to breathe. They were safe for now. The alien girl collapsed onto a patch of soft moss, exhaustion overtaking her again. Marcus knelt beside her, offering a ration from his pack. She hesitated, then accepted it, eating slowly. "You've done so much for me," she said quietly. I don't know how to repay you." Marcus shook his head. "You don't owe me anything. I did what I had to do because it was right. That's what humans do." She looked at him, her glowing eyes reflecting both awe and curiosity. "You're people. You're remarkable. You risk everything for strangers, even when it breaks you." Marcus felt a lump in his throat. He had carried guilt and worry since treating her injuries, but her words were like a small balm on that wound. "Sometimes doing the right thing feels heavy," he admitted, "but it's worth it." Their moment of calm was shattered by a loud roar echoing from the jungle. Marcus sprang to his feet, scanning the area. From the shadows emerged a massive alien predator, its body covered in chitinous armor, claws glinting in the sunlight. It had likely sensed their presence and was hungry. "Stay behind me," Marcus commanded, "and do exactly as I say." The alien girl nodded, her trust in him solidifying despite the fear. Marcus assessed the situation quickly. The predator was large and fast, but he knew its weaknesses. Using the terrain, he baited it into charging while he dodged, firing precision shots from his rifle at the creature's joints. Each shot slowed it down, but it remained a deadly threat. The alien girl watched, wide-eyed, as Marcus moved with strategy and courage. She realized that his actions were more than survival. They were guided by intelligence, empathy, and a sense of duty. She wanted to help, and Marcus noticed her hesitation. "You can do it," he encouraged. Use what you know. Distract it while I aim for its weak spots. She nodded, stepping forward cautiously. She extended her hands, releasing a strange energy pulse that temporarily blinded the predator. Marcus seized the moment, firing another precise shot at the creature's armor joints. With a final roar, the predator fell, incapacitated but alive. The alien girl exhaled, relief washing over her. I helped, she said, awe in her voice. Marcus smiled. Yes, you did. And that makes you strong. The experience forged a deeper connection between them. Trust had grown from necessity into mutual respect. Marcus knew that her people's customs and fears would not disappear overnight. But he had shown her that humans could be allies, not threats. As they moved through the jungle, Marcus shared stories of his home, explaining human culture, history, and values. The alien girl listened with fascination, asking questions and slowly opening up. In turn, she told him about her species, their traditions, their struggles, and the war that had left her alone and vulnerable. Through these exchanges, Marcus realized something profound. Humans were not the only species capable of bravery and compassion, but their moral choices set them apart. The alien girl's survival depended not just on his strength, but on his humanity, his willingness to act with empathy even when it was difficult. Hours later, they reached the edge of the jungle, where a small river ran through the landscape. Marcus gestured for the alien girl to rest while he scouted ahead. He moved silently, aware of the dangers that might still be lurking. When he returned, he had found a safe path to a human outpost not far from their location. That way, he said, pointing toward the outpost. Once we reach there, you'll be safe and we can get proper medical care. The alien girl looked at him, her eyes reflecting gratitude and something more, a recognition of his courage, his compassion, and the burden he had carried to save her. I trust you, she said softly. Marcus felt a warmth in his chest. Trust was fragile, yet she had given it to him willingly now, after fear, after danger, and after the moment that had shaken them both. And I will protect that trust, he said firmly. The journey to the outpost was not easy. They encountered unstable terrain, remnants of alien battles, and scattered wildlife, but they moved with purpose. Marcus guided the alien girl carefully, offering support whenever she faltered. In return, she shared insights about the planet, pointing out hidden dangers and showing him paths that were otherwise invisible. By the time they reached the outpost, the sun was high in the sky. Soldiers and medics hurried about, busy with their own tasks, but they stopped when they saw Marcus leading the alien girl. Quick assessments were made, and the alien girl was immediately given proper medical attention. Marcus stayed nearby, watching as she was treated. He felt a sense of relief wash over him. She was safe, and for the first time in many days, the weight he had carried, the guilt, the fear, the worry, began to lift. The alien girl turned to him as she rested on a cot. You saved my life, she said. And not just with your strength, but with your heart. I understand humans now. Marcus nodded, feeling a rare sense of fulfillment. I only did what anyone should do, he said humbly. But thank you. That means more than you know. As the day ended and the outpost settled into a quieter rhythm, Marcus and the alien girl sat near the edge of the camp, watching the stars emerge in the evening sky. She had recovered enough to walk and move freely, though she still relied on Marcus's guidance in unfamiliar surroundings. You know, she said softly, I was afraid of humans before, afraid you would harm me, or betray me, but you proved that fear can be wrong. Marcus smiled. Fear isn't bad. It keeps us cautious. But courage and trust, those are what make us human. And sometimes those choices are hard, but they define us. The alien girl considered his words, then nodded. I want to learn more. About your people, about your ways, and about courage. You will, Marcus said. And I will be there to guide you as long as you let me. For the first time since they met, both felt a sense of hope and possibility. They were from different worlds, different cultures, and yet they had formed a bond that transcended fear and survival. Trust had been built not by words alone, but by action, courage, and compassion, the qualities that defined humanity in the galaxy. Night fell fully over the outpost, the stars bright above the alien landscape. Marcus knew that challenges would come again, they always did, but for now they had survived, learned, and grown. The alien girl's future was no longer uncertain, and Marcus Kane, soldier and human, had once again proven the extraordinary power of empathy, bravery, and the human spirit. In the vastness of the universe, they were small, but their story of trust, courage, and survival was a testament to humanity's ability to rise above fear, act with honor, and inspire even those from the most distant worlds. And as they looked at the night sky together, both understood that they had found something rare, not just survival, but hope, respect, and the quiet, undeniable heroism that made humans truly extraordinary.